welcome to Point of View. The show that you've been waiting for is on. I'm one of your hosts. My name's Erica Kutane, and I'm joined on the table by Sandy Laborde, Kaiichi Pungu, somebody new today, Shante, our editor-producer, he is here, and then Katrina Lee Jones from Style Check is back.
Hey, y'all.
Yes.
Thank you. Hi.
Hey, y'all.
Hi.
Hey, Shante.
I know, right? We have to bring Shante in. I'm sure he'll come in a little bit later in the show. Katrina's been with us, but Shante, first time, so welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Shante, you do our pillow fluffing. You edit for us.
Yes.
Our great promos. That's what Shante does, and this is his first time on the table. So this will be exciting. So topics we're going to discuss today. A California lawmaker is thinking of fining or wanting to fine men or anyone who sends unwanted penis pics. I don't know the great way to say that. So that could happen in California. We also have a little celebrity news. Ray J and Princess Love, their marriage may be over. We're going to discuss that. Chrissy Lampkin and Jim Jones, they're on our headlines today. And a lot of other things. But Girlfriend's Guide is first. And Shante, I know you're not a girlfriend, but you're going to have to wait for the Girlfriend's Guide.
I can do that.
It's where we do a little bit of a chatter. We break the ice. We, you know, start off the show nicely. The question we have today is, who is the warrior in your life? Now, when I pose this question, because I know Sandra normally does it, but she's singing abroad, honey. She's having a great old time. I meant prayer warrior. Okay. But the way that it came up, it's warrior. So whatever strong person you have in your life, whether it be a prayer warrior, whether it's someone who just holds you down regardless, we're going to discuss that person. How do they inspire you? How do they influence you? What do you need them for? So let's talk, Katrina. Let's talk.
Go.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know, hey, I'm all for it because I believe that prayer is essential. That's just where I come from, and I'm quite sure other religions do that as well. But me being a believer in Jesus,
yes,
prayer is very, very essential. And I've been afforded to have, in the past 3 years, a lot of women and men that have come into my life that have prayed me through a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
Listen, let me tell you, because this decade been something for me. I don't know about y'all, but it's been something for me. So I think that it's important that you can pick up the phone. I have a spiritual mom that I can pick up the phone. I'm like, girl, I'm not feeling well today, or I'm having a bad day. And sometimes I don't even have to say things because we're connected like that she'll pray for me. Or she'll call me and check on me, you know, and my children as well. So I think it's important to have someone in your life that sometimes you don't even have to say anything, but they know that if you're going through something, they feel it's spiritual, they can pray you through it. You're like, oh, I felt better at 12 o'clock and don't even know why. And that's because somebody has interceded for you. So I think it's important. Gotta have it.
Who's the warrior in your life? Do men have warriors?
Yes, we do. Actually, it's my mom. I have my aunt's Bible from when she passed away. So we have all these scriptures in it for the family, and it was passed on to me. So whenever I do need to pray or whenever I'm feeling low, I reference the Bible and I'll call my mom and I'll say, Mom, what scripture, you know, should I pray about for this? And she'll tell me, and then we'll talk about it, we'll pray about it. And that's usually what helps me get through whatever I'm going through at the time, which actually a lot of days, when that happens for me, it makes your day better.
Yeah,
so.
it's probably the days where me and you, we just don't click.
Yeah, that's right.
Prayer.
Pillows, talking trash, you definitely have to pray about it.
So welcome to our Media Wave topic. This one about Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey. He says he may consider moving to Africa for a few months, as it may be the next technology hub. So take us through Yozetti's Jack Dorsey.
know.
His movement.
Listen, I don't know if Jack, I don't want to offend anyone. I don't know if he's
you know we do that.
Well, I know we don't care.
We offend.
But I'm so excited to hear about this. I know I have like a list of entrepreneurs that I get really excited about. But Jack Dorsey, founder of Twitter, founder of Square. I'm not a Twitter person that much yet, but Square I've definitely used. And Jack Dorsey, last year he went to Haiti. So he's definitely not afraid of countries that are underdeveloped, countries that may have conflict. He has his eye on finding countries that can be, like you said, the next tech hub.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, if anything, he maybe is a little bit behind because Google is already in Africa. Facebook is already in Africa. I mean, I just hope that, I don't know him personally, so I hope that we're not taking advantage of people.
Yeah.
But this, right? But this levels the playing field. When you have countries and communities, and I guess the continent of Africa, it's huge, but when you have communities of people that can't get a bank loan, that can't have credit cards, it sets them back in terms of being an entrepreneur. So when you have a system that gives everyone equal access, It allows you to be a part of globalization. You can do business in the United States.
And I mean, it helps worldwide.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think I'm excited about it.
Untapped
I
talent.
like the idea. But like Sandy said, I think I'm going to really pray that this is not one of the Facebooks moving to South Africa to put a headquarters and you're underpaying Africans because you feel like they've been getting paid less. So that being said, if he's gonna go, I know you don't like me to talk about Facebook,
It's
Sandy,
okay,
because I can
Kaya.
feel your eyes.
I can see.
But, you know, if this is going to be, like you say, equal pay, when you go to Africa, just because it's a developing country, because when people say, you know, Africa is an underdeveloped country, what made it not develop in the first place? It's people who go in Africa, make opportunities out of Africa, and underpay Africa, and it's just them. When you go in the development, it's just them, the nice buildings, the nice Facebook, the nice this, but the people who are coming to work for you are living in shacks. So I'm happy that he's chosen Africa, but trust me, we've all been knowing that Africa is the next technology hub. Rwanda created the first cell phone that Africa is about to produce. So there is so much in Africa, but just don't go and take advantage of Africans.
He's not. He won't.
This is true.
Well, we
This
hope
is true.
not.
I actually agree very much so. The fact that from a political standpoint, I think that that'll say a lot as far as the people are concerned, and as far as the money that actually has to go into this. I don't know if you would think that he thinks about that, but a lot of times that they don't. Just from prior experience dealing with some stuff that happened back in 2010 with the World Cup, they had a really hard time as far as laying out the roles, the procedures, hospitality. All of those issues came about in South Africa when they were doing that. And now that the World Cup is over, South Africa is still having a lot of those same challenges.
Hello.
So I can see that being a problem.
Yeah.
And not saying anything bad about your
Say what y'all
boyfriend.
gotta say.
Nothing bad about your boyfriend.
all don't have
But at
to
the
agree.
same turn, not just him personally though, but you got to deal with a lot of political red tape.
What about Zimmerman versus Trayvon Martin? This story is absolutely insane. So George Zimmerman, the man who was found not guilty of murdering Trayvon Martin a few years ago, he is now suing the Martin family for $100 million, claiming that the witnesses were false. It was an orchestrated story that they told about him. They had the wrong witness on the stand. You know, I mean, didn't the guy confess? But
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
So first of all, when I read the story, sad.
Yeah.
Just the fact that he's even trying to go at it like that. But they've already said that he really doesn't have a foot to stand on, I guess you could say. But he's still trying to push the envelope as far as him being the victim. Now, I will say as far as a conspiracy standpoint, as far as the public is concerned, what he did was wrong. But now he is part of that because of what happened. So yeah, you hear the name George Zimmerman, that's the first thing you associate it with. So in a lot of ways, he can't, I guess you could say, kind of like get his life back
Right, he
together
can't
again.
function, really.
He can't really function because
Yeah.
he'll always be known as the man that killed
killed an
Trayvon
innocent child.
Martin.
Yeah.
So seeing that that's happened to him like that, it's kind of like, you know, you kind of put yourself in that situation. But now what he should do is start with maybe a civil apology or something like that, because he's never came out and said, you know what, I did, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. He's never done it. He's always taken it like he's the victim.
Right.
And that's crazy.
Yeah. So this is our What's Brewing topics for today. First one we're going to start with Chrissy Lampkin. And this is what, Love and Hip Hop New York? Chrissy Lampkin, who is maybe engaged to rapper Jim Jones. They've been together 15 years, y'all. 15 years. And it was a big back and forth between she wants to get married all these times, she's waiting for the marriage, he doesn't want to get married. She proposed to him. So now that Love and Hip Hop is coming back on, you know, she's doing the interviews, making the rounds. They asked her, so what's up with this marriage? And she says she is happy without it. Do we believe that?
Let's pause for a moment. Moment of silence. I don't believe it. You know, I think you get to, I think she's around 47. But as a young lady, or when you get into that age where you know that this man is not going to marry me, you're just like, you know what, I'm just going to roll with the flow. Because at the end of this is the girl who cried on the show about marriage. I want you to marry me. I want you to marry me. Now you don't care. Now it's not a top priority. Come on, stop. Who wants to date somebody for 15 years
Yeah.
and they're not proposing to you? I mean, if I was Jim Jones, I would also say the same thing. If I can get the meal for free, why buy the car?
Exactly.
Do everything your wife can do for me, and I'm not even gonna put a ring on it. You can wear all the bling you want, honey. That's just bling, but he's not gonna marry you.
I think a lot of women forget what it means to be married and the responsibility that a man takes when he actually marries you, regardless of ring size, regardless of anything. He can buy you a ring, but if it's not a wedding ring, if he's not walking down the altar, it does not mean the same thing.
Hello.
I think a lot of
I would
women
like to get a
One
man's
more time.
perspective on
Oh yes, we have one. Hey,
Because
Shante.
why didn't marry her
Space.
yet, Shante?
All right, well, I have no problem with that. I got you.
I'm like,
From a male's perspective, I do believe that if you commit to that woman and you want to be married to that woman, you should put a ring on it. But at the same time, for a lot of men, it's always not the right time. And there's never
15
really.
years?
I'm just telling you.
What is the right time?
I'm just telling what they think.
Okay.
Because I have walked down the altar once before, so I get it. But at the same time, whenever you're dealing with the perspective of that, it's just like whenever a woman's dating a guy and she kind of knows what place he's going to be in. A lot of times when a man is dating a woman, he already kind of has an idea of what he wants from that woman. It is up to the woman at that point then to pretty much fill out to what either the role that she wants to play in the relationship or say, look here, you know what, you're not marrying me, I'm gone. And if you do want me, then you need to marry me. And then if that's not the case, then find someone
She
else
did
that
that.
I know.
and she proposed, and she left him in Miami.
I know. And you
And
notice
he
it.
still ain't married.
I know. And he followed her and they're still together. She need to stop messing with them all together. Like
She
did
need to leave him
Yeah,
alone.
need to
I was
leave him
married
alone.
for 16 years,
Yep.
and you mean to tell me I'm going to waste?
So here is our mind, body, and soul. This is happening right now in California. A lawmaker is wanting to pass a fine for anyone who sends unwanted pictures of their body parts, the men's body parts. So Shante, what is your take on this story?
Good times. All right. Well, first of all, when they talk about penis pics, you already know what time it is. But as far as them whatever they're
$500
trying to sue them for or fine them for, I think that that's crazy because that's a thing. Like that's something that usually happens. Yes, I mean we have.
You send out pictures like that?
We got little kids that send this stuff to other little kids.
They're
and stuff
all going
now.
to be fined.
Yeah, they're all going to be fined.
That one's child pornography, so that one's even
He
worse
said
than just
that's a
a fine.
thing.
Exactly. So what I'm thinking is it ends up being another way to like just collect money from
It's
the
okay.
state. Because like you have dozens, hundreds of thousands of penis pics out there.
Yeah, so
when you
let's
stop and think
stop
about
it.
But I don't think you're going to stop it.
No,
It's-
we can.
You think we can?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't think that that's going to be a thing, but that's my own personal.
Because the thing is not really mattering, so you think it's not going to be thing.
yeah,
said-
exactly.
But Sending the pics is a
the
thing.
topic
It is.
also said unwanted. So if a man sends an unwanted picture,
Yeah, unsolicited.
do you feel like he should be fined?
Yes.
Well, it's honestly no, only because that
Because he be sending them out.
people send out.
you sending your pictures to Shante?
This is horrible. But no, it's not like that. I just think
You're
that
sending out
a lot of
pictures.
times whenever it's unsolicited, it's not going to make really a difference because of the next person that you may send a picture to or someone that may feel that you broke up with. Now it's unsolicited. Remember when you sent me this pic last year? Now it's unsolicited. So
Last
now I'm
year.
being fined for a pic that I sent to you last year when
We
we
are
were
going to
together or seeing
investigate
each other.
before we fine you. By the end of the day, if my phone is the airdrop, is activated, and I'm sitting
airdrop?
next to you, the airdrop. It's called airdrop.
Airdrop, yeah.
Is activated, and I'm sitting next to you, and you send me a picture that I don't want to see. You should be fined because, to me, I think that's very disrespectful. And second of all, you're just a
It's a
person.
form of harassment, though.
It
is.
is. This is sexual harassment. So if you send it to me, you should be fine.
Yeah.
But if we were boyfriend and girlfriend and you send it to me last year and now I just wake up and I say this is a thing, no, that of course they're going to look at the timeline.
Right.
But if I don't know you and you just send it, yes,
But
be
can I play
fine.
this part? Because, I
It
mean,
needs to go both
aside from the
ways.
men's,
Yeah.
right, aside,
It
when they
needs to
put
go
that
both
law
ways.
in, I mean, they're going to have to
needs to
say
go both
women,
ways.
Women as
unwanted
well.
pics, you can be fined as well.
Yes.
You guys, I got a confession.
Oh, no.
We've seen it already, girl.
No. I've never gotten a penis pic.
Okay.
So when I was reading this, I was like, this has to be an epidemic, because if it's to the point where politicians are getting involved and they want to pass laws, that means there's wee-wees coming in people's cell phones all day long. So I've never gotten one, and I can't even think under what circumstances someone, if you're in a relationship or you're married, even then I don't send it, because I'm like, it's the internet and it could go anywhere. So what would make a man feel like, especially if this woman has no connection to you whatsoever?
That's why they send it, girl.
Why would you
Go
say
ahead.
you can
Go ahead. Go ahead. Take a look at this,
that's
girl,
a
and let's get this
conversation
connection.
That's a conversation
So
starter.
I
Not
do
for me.
feel
Well, no,
like
I got to admit that's not a conversation starter. I just think of how it's going to have to build and what they're going to need to do. The reason why they're doing this is because of all the stuff that's going on in Washington. You've had dozens of cases where men have been sending receptionists, the help in a sense.
should be fined.
Yeah, well, more than fined. They should lose their
Wrinkle stuff
jobs.
on her
Forget being
screen.
fined. Like, you honestly should, you lose your job behind something like that.
should
But
be-
they don't. They'll slap a fine, say, don't do that again, and then it happens like a little bit
Well,
later
Shante,
down the
let me
road.
ask you this. What if they're in the workplace and the guy reveals himself in the workplace to her?
You should be fined and fired.
So what's the difference between him showing in the workplace and him sending it on the phone?
Because it could be somebody else's penis pic, first of all, because you have that out there too. Now, women do that too, and men. They'll send you somebody else's goodies. You
But you're
know.
still exposing.
And you'll be all excited and be like, no.
Shante, with your
I
son.
know you, because you've got a 3-year-old.
No.
Shante got
Shaping,
more than that.
shaping.
He's very smart too.
Yeah, well, as far as being a dad and where I would like to see my kids go, I really took the approach of letting them fill out to what they wanted to do. My middle boy, my oldest boy, he saw me play ball, but he decided that wasn't the path that he wanted to take. He wanted to go into the oil fields and work. We're from Texas. It works for me. He likes doing the work. No complaints here. As far as my youngest is concerned, yeah, we all say our kids are gifted,
Yeah.
He is a different kid, so
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what he decides to do. And he's like 2 years old. And people think he's like 3 or 4, and he's not.
Oh, sorry, we say 3.
No, it's okay. It's okay. He's an interesting young man. And he's 2. And
Big too.
he's a big 2. And
That's
so
like
I'm
daddy.
curious to see what he wants to do and stuff. But I never really pushed any of my siblings that I were involved with helping raise or anything like that. They come to me and they tell me they want to be the next president. I'm like, all right, kid.
Okay.
So what do we need to do to get there?
Yeah.
And I just support them and I give them information as we go. And I don't
like
really
that
try to take away their aspirations and dreams. I always try to feed it. Even as a teacher, that's one of the things I always do with my students. If they told me they wanted to do something,
Yeah.
But as far as this young lady is concerned, I really want to see what type of lawyer she's going to
She's
be.
gonna become.
Yeah, because you got
Doing
political
civil
defense.
litigation.
I know, but that usually can roll into something else, even though it's civil. I mean, she'll start there. Next thing you know, she's doing contracts abroad because
Yeah.
of civil
You get some
litigation.
fancy for us now, Shante. We didn't learn Chinese.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah. No,
sorry.
I think it's going to be.